So, being somewhat disappointed that we're not doing the Judgment Night movie, I almost read through the entire plot of Wikipedia and was almost prepared to comment on all the songs as if I was talking about the Judgment Night movie.
We'll do the Judgment Night movie sometime.
It was okay, but just it starts out the plot's a little thin, I think.
Yeah. I like the actors.
I like the guitar work.
Yeah.
I like the guitar work. Yeah, I suppose it's all right, but like the acting, I wasn't impressed.
I think he's trying to tell us we need to do Judgment Night next time.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to Side 1, Side B with Dave and Steve. I'm Dave.
And I'm Steve.
We have a guest with us today. What are you going by this time?
You know what? I have to go ask Pete from here on out.
Pete? Oh yeah, since you retired from music?
Yep, I'm officially now Pete from here on out.
Pete from here on out. Is that like a Swedish name or Welsh? What is that?
It's Deutsch.
So you're like a basketball player or a football player that's retired from playing and now you just deliver commentary.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much, yeah.
Just like Henry Rollins. You're
like
Omaha's Henry Rollins. Official. Canon. It's canon.
That's gotta hurt, Bob.
Yeah. So, what do you guys know about the Jim Carroll Band?
I know a lot of people died.
Yeah.
They died.
All my friends.
They died.
They died. Steve, what do you know?
I don't know anything about the Jim Carroll Band, so what I'm going to tell is what my perceptions are just by seeing the name. I would have assumed by just seeing the name, the Jim Carroll Band, I would assume something soft rock, maybe religious. So that makes the title of this album work out in my head perfectly. There's an inverse universe where this is a religious album that you'd buy in a mega church or something.
Yeah. What do you know about the Basketball Diaries?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, never mind. I thought that was my end.
We were playing NBA Jam earlier.
Yeah.
So that's basketball.
I know what movie we need to see if we can find Laserdisc now.
Yeah. So Jim Carroll, he was part of that 70s New York punk scene, but he came about it a different way. You know how Patti Smith, Richard Hell, a bunch of them were doing poetry open mics at St. Mark's before they became musicians. He was one of their poet friends who was doing poetry. And he wrote a book that's pretty celebrated called The Basketball Diaries. It's been adapted. It had baby Leonardo DiCaprio in it. It has an infamous school shooting scene in it. So he came about this as kind of, the street tough poet scene, and he didn't really this album. This was just his only album, and it came out in 1980. So he was at the tail end of that whole initial CBGB scene. It was shortly after this when that wave of punk got overtaken by the warring camps of hardcore and post punk. So this is in a way kind of a last hurrah for the scene in general, because around this time the Ramones and Blondie and Talking Heads were getting huge and well beyond the bar scene, and a lot of the other initial bands had broken up, and so this was just kind of that last little moment with a bit of a latecomer for the grimy CBGB's punk scene.
Well, all right, that sounds neat.
Yeah. Here is the cover.
All right, so the title of this album is Catholic Boy, and, given what I have in my head about this band, I would assume a good Catholic boy. Looking at the cover, is that his parents?
Those are his actual parents, yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured. It's kind of it looks like it was a monochrome photograph that's been colored in. His dad and his mom, they both have like jackets on of some type that looked like they were colored in post. Jim Carroll kind of has a David Bowie vibe to him, it looks like, a little bit.
You got that haircut, yeah.
Turning it around here, we got another photograph, but this time it's of the band. Also monochrome with the background. They traced around the band members in various colors. And
he is a tall dude. So the reason why he's taller than the rest of the band is he was a tall dude. You can see footage of him playing songs from this album with this band on Fridays. It was an ABC show that was competing with Saturday Night Live around this time. And he's just kind of like towering over everyone else.
Yeah.
Basketball Diaries was because he did play basketball before he got into poetry. So he had the build for it.
Looks like you took the plastic out. How much did you spend on it in 17?
$16, yeah. It was a more recent purchase, so it's in the age of more expensive vinyl.
Was this one of those you got out in Kearney?
No, this one I got in Frisco, Colorado.
Ah, okay.
There's this little record shop, and they had a bunch of stuff, and I picked this up, and then went to the German bar and had some beer.
Nice. Let's talk about the lineup here. It was produced by Earl McGrath, co-production and engineering by Bob Clearmountain, and the Jim Carroll Band is made up of Brian Lindsley on guitar, Steve Lindsley on bass, I assume they're related, Terrell Wynn on guitar, Wayne Woods on drums, Wayne's World, and Jim Carroll, of course, on vocals.
You might want to look at the additional musicians as well.
Well, let's take a look. We got keyboards were performed by Alan Lanier. Do
you know who that is?
No, I don't.
BOC.
Ah, okay. Nice. Saxophone by Bobby Keys. Additional vocal, Amy Cancer, and then we got backing vocals from Sally, Hillary, Neon, and Janet.
Yeah.
Cover photograph was done by Annie Leibowitz, and the back photographer was done by Michael Halsband.
Annie Leibowitz is a pretty big photographer, too. That's quite the catch. This was early in her career, but yeah.
Jim Carroll's all like, I need you to come over and photograph me and my parents.
Yeah. Alan Lanier, though, was adjacent to the punk scene at the time because he and Patti Smith dated before her musical career took off, but his was in full swing, so she was kind of, in the background for BOC before starting her own band. So
on the front, he kind of looks like David Bowie. On the back, he looks more like Bon Jovi.
Well, actually, here he looks like David Bowie too.
Oh yeah, near the end.
Yeah, like a lot.
Yeah, near the end of his life. Yeah.
But he was 6'3".
Oh, same height as me.
But so I'm looking at a picture of his parents, and they look like they're probably at least 70. So I'm assuming they're my age.
Yeah.
But
his parents are pretty tall too. Like he's only a little taller than them.
Yeah. If that even.
Yeah.
His dad, I'm the same height, but yeah, his mom's probably like, I'd say probably like 5'10".
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. You mentioned the song, Pete. Is that the main thing you know about Jim Carroll?
I've read the book and watched the movie, and that is all I know. So, yeah, and I read the book a long time ago. So.
Well, all right. Side one, we have 5 songs. We have Wicked Gravity, which was written by Carol. 3 Sisters, which was written by Carol and Wynn. Day and Night, which is written by Carol and Lanier. Nothing is True by Carol and Lindsley. And People Who Died by just Carol. David, what do we have to look forward to on side one?
Side one, it's You've listened to some 70s punk now, where it doesn't sound exactly the same as like in the 80s when hardcore came in and everything started to sound more like that. So it sounds more, like old school rock and roll, like a lot of the original punk does. The side 1 is a little more subdued than side B, in my opinion. So it kind of builds energy as you go. You've got a lot of great wordplay, and a lot of his background as a poet who's used to reading his stuff out loud really lends itself well, and that he can cram in the syllables quite a bit. And you get like a lot. His background as a poet also helps just with like some of the images he portrays within the wordplay. You'll see as we get going.
All right, let's throw it on.
That's too good. Good for sobriety.
All right, we're breaking stuff.
Yep. And we're back. Steve, what'd you think?
Oh, I thought that was really good. You mentioned in the intro that it came from the 70s punk scene that had a bit more of a old school rock and roll vibe. But that said, I think 4 out of 5 of the songs had an energy that I would typically associate with punk rock, with the exception being Day and Night, which had a bit more of a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Ballad.
Yeah, ballad. A ballady vibe to it. Otherwise, the first 2 songs had a really good punk vibe, then it slowed down a bit. And then I noticed the other 2 punkier songs got a little more vicious than even the first 2. So it seemed like they put some thought into arrangement there, or either they put thought into it or it worked out perfectly.
They put thought into it. This is pretty meticulously arranged. I think. Pete, what did you think, having only heard one of these songs before?
It's about what I expected for the most part.
Yeah.
I expected to appreciate for what it is, but also not fall in love with it. Other than one song, they're all listenable. But yeah, we'll do song by song in a second here. But yeah, overall, it's about what I expected.
Yeah. All right. I really like this album. I really like this side. I like his delivery. I think he does like kind of like the Lou Reed speak-sing thing, only he's a little better at enunciating than Lou was. I like
the vocally. I thought he reminded me of Bob Dylan. Like the lyrics and the music didn't really, but the delivery did.
Oh yeah, I could see that too.
Definitely.
Yeah, Lou Reed sounded a lot like Bob Dylan too. But yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, just kind of like that speak-sing thing though. But he's really good at just like being really dexterous with the syllables too, and like making it fit.
Yeah.
And I think credit to his band for like being like they're a really solid backing band who are able to play good music to fit that kind of stuff in. Yeah, can go through by the songs. Wicked Gravity, good opener. I liked that guitar riff at the beginning.
Yeah, it definitely opened the record up with a really good energy. I was making ramen noodles while it was going, and I was standing by the sink just like grooving along to it while I was pouring the water in, like, oh yeah, rock and roll.
Well, it's definitely driving. Instantly, my first I pictured Molly Ringwald in my head. I could totally see the Wicked Gravity being on the soundtrack to Pretty in Pink or one of those movies, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I also made kind of note on here about kind of that classic 70s, because it wasn't even just him and Lou Reed. A lot of the 70s punk rock was like kind of that sing talking.
Yeah, like Richard Hell did that.
Yeah. The song did drive on a little bit longer as like, okay. I'm not really. That's one of the things about the difference between like a lot of the early punk rock and hardcore is the early punk rock didn't have this emphasis on like yeah, songs gotta be short. We don't want to have a bunch of extra fluff, and so it takes a little bit to get back into that mindset, I guess.
Who heralded in the idea that punk rock had to be short and not well played?
Very much hardcore.
Yeah,
because so part of it is a lot of, not necessarily all, but a lot of the 70s era punk rockers were musicians who came from other genres that either got turned into. Some of them cynically were like, well, this is the big thing, so this is what I want to start playing now. But a lot of them are still like, oh, this is a new sound. Even though I know how to play my instrument really well, I like the rawness. I like how gritty this is. I like how pure this is. And so that's where you get like some of the superior musicianship with the 70s punk rockers, whereas the kids from the 80s, the hardcore kids, were almost all of them were just like, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. I'm just going to play as fast as I can. And it just got drilled down to it's more urgent, I guess, by having the shorter songs, by cutting things down, like Keith Morris says in one of the mini punk documentaries he's in, out with the intro, out with the outro, guitar solo gone, cut the chorus in half.
Yeah, the Ramones were the first band to kind of do that, but like in the 70s scene, they were just like one band doing things that way while most of the rest of the bands were doing something else.
Well,
The hardcore kids were like, well, we can play along with the Ramones. Let's go with that and make it even more intense.
Well, when I was growing up as a metalhead looking in from the outside, my biggest concept of punk was Metallica covering punk bands or Megadeth covering punk bands. But I remember listening to like Sex Pistols or what was the other example I just had in my head? Or Black Flag, and being like, oh yeah, punk is just shitty and not well played. And then, but I wouldn't include Ramones with that. They were short, but I thought they played their instruments well. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's funny. The more you dig into it, the more that's only really true on the surface.
Yeah,
right. But
yeah, I guess it's funny too. Like with the Ramones, Joey was the drummer in a glam band called Sniper before he became the singer for the Ramones.
Oh, funny.
So yeah.
But with this song, I actually put a lot of notes in this song and not so much on the other songs, because a lot of this would be like very much the same notes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's kind of when I was putting down notes, it was kind of the same thing for me. It's like the first two songs had good punk energy, the last two songs had punk energy, and there was a ballad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Three Sisters.
This one's fun. It's like, I think it's like even like more of a faster driving, like chugging guitar beat than the first one.
Yep.
Just like a bit more straightforward. Lyrics, I think, are just like three women he knew, just like about, hey, these are people I know. And I like it because it's a little different from a lot of like late 70s, early 80s, like groupie songs. But it's like it's lyrically, it's not doing as much as the rest of the album, I think, either. Like it doesn't have any moments that strike me as really like lines that seem like really profound to me, like in Wicked Gravity. Like I wrote in my notes, like specifically watching the earth recede, like that's just a cool lyric, like a cool image. And this didn't have anything quite like that.
Yeah.
It's definitely closer to what I think of as punk rock, because it had kind of the urgency to it.
Yeah.
But again, there wasn't anything that really jumped out. I mean, it wasn't anything like, wow, this was really a unique thing. So it was just kind of there.
I wonder if it would have stuck out more to you if you'd heard it before hearing your entire music history.
Possible.
Because that was probably David, would you say this was a new sound when this came out?
80, not so much.
Not quite as much. But it was newer. Like it was newer than it is now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this was, like the whole punk thing had been going for a while at this point. This is someone who did it really well and was able to use it as the backing vocal for his very specific kind of poetry, or the backing music for his very specific kind of poetry.
Right. I mean, because you can definitely hear about his origins of a poet.
Yeah.
The same thing with X. You can definitely hear that Exene was a poet before she was in this band.
Yeah.
A thought just popped into my head. Like while all this proto-punk was going on, my dad was in the Navy and in San Francisco, so he would tell me how he would go see punk bands, probably because he wanted to get laid. But,
Yeah.
And so he'd be there, and he fucking hated all of them.
Mm.
And so my dad probably saw all these like pioneering punk bands that you guys would like love to see, and at the time,
Yeah.
he'd sit there with his beer going, "Fucking assholes."
Yeah. Yeah. These are the $5 shows. Yeah.
You hear that as all the bands that we've never heard of because they'd never accomplished anything.
Yeah, you'd probably find out my dad lists off the punk bands. You guys are like, yeah, I never heard any of them.
Yeah.
That's just his idea of punk is like 5 bands that he heard in San Francisco that never got anywhere.
Yeah. Although it'd be funny if he heard the Dead Kennedys early on. But yeah,
I hope he didn't wear his Navy uniform to the show.
Maybe he got his ass kicked and he's not telling you, and that's why he didn't like those bands.
In the Navy.
Well, my dad did tell me that he used to have a Confederate flag on his motorcycle until a black dude told him why he shouldn't have a Confederate flag on his motorcycle. So,
Oops.
hey, he grew up in Southern Illinois, so of course he was racist.
Next song, Day and Night, the slow song with the slow piano song. Like this was much more keyboard driven than everything else on here. And this is the one with the guest keyboard player from the bigger, more successful band, and then with the female backing vocals. Mm-hmm. I like this song. I think it's a good change of pace. After the first two, it breaks up the album some, makes it so it's not just like this, like the same energy all the way through. Has some really great lyrics. This is, I get the feeling this is going to be the one that Pete didn't like, but I like this song. This song's really cool. I like the kind of roundabout ways it talks about like regret and a relationship ending. Yeah.
So my first note was third inning slowdown. But I did note that Steve was right about the Bob Dylan connection, which I hadn't picked up on until you said that. I was like, it's absolutely right. That absolutely fits. It was just boring. Thankfully it wasn't too long. But while I can hear that he has this sing talk style, I don't hear actually a lot of the words, and so since I'm not looking at a lyric sheet, I'm missing out on what I think probably is some really good poetry in there. Although I have an aversion to poetry, but those who can shouldn't.
I'm going to be a middling centrist between Dave and Pete and say that I like the song. It's not something that I would like seek out if I was to listen to a song or two off of this or anything. But I thought it was a well-crafted ballad that had some good female co-vocals, and I'd imagine, like you said, I didn't really pick up much on the lyrics during this listen through. But I imagine I would probably enjoy this song even more once I dug into the lyrics.
Yeah. Nothing is true. Good old-fashioned nihilism. Just like...
I noticed the guitar on this one got vicious.
It's a good rocker
on this one.
Yeah, this one was like a... This one was like, okay, we slowed it down. Now let's just get mean. Yeah. Like this was like the New York punk scene, especially like compared to like the London and LA scenes that were happening at the same time. The New York one especially was nihilistic and nothing matters type of thing bringing into it. Like they didn't have like the politics of like the Clash or like the or just like there is just something that was kind of more fun about the LA scene, even if they were lyrically kind of similar to to the New York one, except for the Germs. The Germs were as nihilistic as the New York ones. But yeah, this one was just it's tapping into that whole Richard Hell, Dead Boys, nothing matters, let's get fucked up energy.
I feel like with the way our country has been going the last 10 years, Nothing Is True would lyrically match this era very well.
I picked that up too.
Yeah.
Fake news.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brony.
I thought this made a good use of like the interplaying like guitar parts. It reminded me a bit of Television in that regard, only it was much more like clean and focused. Like Television has like some noodling to it. This was
musicianship was
yeah. This was
superb.
just played really tight and was exactly where it should be and kept going. Yeah.
All right, to go backwards just a little bit. One of the things I was thinking of on Day and Night is that, you know, punk rock should be quote unquote dangerous, and Day and Night is not a dangerous song in by any stretch of the imagination. Nothing Is True is a dangerous song, you know, and that's what and maybe I wouldn't have felt as strongly about that if they took Day and Night out and went from Three Sisters to Nothing Is True, maybe it wouldn't have hit quite as hard. But that was, you know, it brought back that sense of threatening pose, I guess.
See, I think that's kind of why I do like the ballad being in front of it. It reminds me of like Tony Iommi talking about Black Sabbath records, where they'll include like little pretty
like Laguna Beach.
Yeah. So when the doom part comes back in, it just hits so much harder, and I think that made it work.
Yeah. Punk rock is mostly dangerous. There's always been introspective moments, and
Right.
not in like every single band, but in most bands, they will do something a little more personal and not as threatening before going back into it some. But yeah.
At least it's not as bad as The Eagle Cried.
But, you know, it's like with my own songwriting, even when I wanted to get introspective, that's actually when I'd try and make the music even that much tougher. It's just because I wanted to always have, you know, an edge to something. So no matter what the lyrics are stating, I wanted to have, you know, some grit and grime to it.
That's fair, yeah. Yeah, and then now the big hit, People Who Died.
I can see why this one's the big hit that gets covered by everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel confident in stating right now that this is the best song on the album.
It's my second favorite on the album, but it's my favorite on this side. We'll get into it as we keep going. But yeah, this one's a classic. Even when it's repeating itself, you know, like some of the verses get repeated, I don't mind. Mm-hmm. It's just so much fun to listen to. You love hearing it. The gang vocals are perfect. Like, this was the song to include the gang vocals in. It gets quoted a lot. Like, Sean, our guitar player, and I will just sometimes like quote random parts of it, and now Steve will have context for that.
Well, I mean, this song was the primary influence behind my anti-cop song, Get Shot.
Yeah.
As far as, you know, musical style. And in I suppose, lyrical style to a degree by using the repetitiveness of Get Shot. But something I just thought about not right now, though, is that one of the things why this song is invigorating is because it's kind of a reminder that people who are dead are dead. They're done. There's nothing new for them.
Yeah.
But we're still here. We're still alive. And whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, it doesn't really matter. We're still here. You know, we can still experience things. We can still do things. We can still accomplish things.
Yeah. This is a song that I go back to every time someone from the scene dies too. Like, this is what I put on. This is what I listen to in the dark when that happens.
I haven't had too many people in my life that have mattered to me like die, but I have had friends who have had people close to them die, especially people that have numerous friends pass away on them, and I could see the lyrics like touching somebody in that similar situation.
Yep. Well, I remember we were at Gong Farmer practice, and I was just checking my phone between songs when we found out that Jeff Deckard died.
Yeah.
And how that was just I think we played like after we found out we played like maybe another half of a song, and I just quit. Like, nah, I'm just done.
Yeah.
I think Dave, you even messaged me when that happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, that was shocking, and I don't think the Omaha scene has been the same since he died.
No.
Yeah, Jeff had just this giant air of positivity around him that I found refreshing. And if he was still alive today, we would probably invite him over to listen to the Kiss solo records.
God.
Along with Sean.
And have him push back on Sean. Yeah.
Because I know Jeff loved the Ace Frehley record. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was people who died. Also, a lot of people covered it once Jim Carroll died, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a good choice to cover from him at that point.
Yeah, we got John Cale, Drive-By Truckers, Lords of Brooklyn with a Z. Lords with a Z. And Guar, and Hollywood Vampires, and Against Me. So, yeah.
Yep.
Big list of people.
Drive-By Truckers are like an alt-country band, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they also referenced G.G. Allin in one of their songs, so they know some things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well yeah, like the whole
I think there was a song like the night G.G. Allin played some shit like that.
Yeah, and then like John Cale, out of all those artists, is the one closest to like this style of music. But the rest of those are all like wildly different from each other and like from this for the most part, so which makes it cool, like the wide influence this song has had.
Yep. The night G.G. Allin came to town by the Drive-By Truckers.
Oh yeah, they're good. I like Drive-By Truckers. I like a lot of like the like late 90s alt country thing where it was a bunch of punks playing country music.
Yeah.
Hank 3 was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
4020 was a great show for Lincoln people. They did a version of the Trooper with dueling guitar dueling with the fiddle.
I think I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, it says here that Catholic Boy was re-recorded by Jim Carroll with Pearl Jam for the 1995 Basketball Diaries soundtrack. What do you think of Catholic Boy with Pearl Jam as the backing band?
Oh, it's fine. The originals I think are better. Like the production style is pretty different, and I like this kind of like 70s rough, gritty punk mixing and recording style more for these songs. I like Pearl Jam. I think they have impeccable taste a lot of the time. They are one of the less interesting of the original wave of grunge bands for me, but I think they're good.
They are not the grunge band that I would have picked to re-record at least the songs that I've heard so far. But
yeah, no, it's like they've always been pretty open about who their influences are, and like they covered Devo recently too, and it's like they've always been like the ones who are like a big fan of like the older punk bands. They just don't necessarily sound like they're the one that is. Yeah.
Which grunge band would be better for it? Melvins?
Melvins or Mudhoney?
Yeah.
I could see Nirvana doing it, although I can't see a version of Nirvana
they wouldn't
where someone other than Kurt sings too.
Yeah,
So
they wouldn't. I don't think they would have been able to do the more technical guitar parts, but
with Pat Smear, I think they could have.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good point.
Well, maybe.
Well, that was '90s Pat Smear.
Well, but Pat Smear will tell you that he's just as just as good of a guitar player now as he was back in the Germs.
That's not. He's better than he was at least in the early days of the Germs. But yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, now we have the next side. This one has more. This one doesn't slow down to the same degree as Day to Night. It's all much more along the lines of the other 4 songs on this side.
Yeah, we got another 5 songs. We got City Drops Into the Night, Crow, It's Too Late, I Want the Angel, and the title track, Catholic Boy.
Honestly, I can see City Drops Into the Night, Crow, and I Want the Angel being Iron Maiden songs.
Yeah.
Bruce Dickinson, I want the angel. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And that's
We'll
why
do the Paul Diano version. I want that action.
and that's why Paul will always be the better singer. Fuck you, Bruce Dickinson. Suck my ass.
Well, we actually just did the self-titled. Was that last week or the week before?
That was last week, yeah.
Yeah, and we made fun of Bruce Dickinson pretty hard for yelling at his fans for smoking pot at his shows. Because he was all like, I can't sing with all the pot smoke going in my lungs. I'm like, fuck you. It's not going up there and getting in your lungs. He's like, my bass player, Tanya, can't play. I'm like, whatever.
I doubt that is the first time he's encountered pot smoke at an Iron Maiden show, too. But we did say that when we recorded that, too.
Meanwhile, when I saw Soundgarden, Chris Cornell could smell the pot, and he was like, hell yeah. He's like, I want some.
Yeah.
So, Chris Cornell, clearly better than Bruce Dickinson.
Apparently, when Nick 13 from Tiger Army was supposed to do a solo show here for like a decade ago, he canceled because people were I think maybe smoking was still legal or something, but there's like too much smoke smell in the venue, so he canceled the show. And not pot, we're talking cigarettes.
You haven't really lived unless you've been to the Sokol Underground with just like the cloud of cigarette smoke clinging to the ceiling and your coat the next day.
God, when did they ban smoking?
It was in the 2000s.
All right, so
I remember being in a IHOP the day they banned smoking. I never smoked, but my buddies at the time did.
I remember when I dated Andrea in Lincoln. So this would have been mid 2000s. She would never take her coat into the bars, even if we had to walk 4 blocks in the freezing weather, just because she didn't want her coat to smell like smoke.
That's fair, yeah.
Why wouldn't you buy a bar coat then?
I remember
Because she had a boyfriend who would just say, "Well, you can wear my coat."
Okay. Yeah.
I remember
Well, see, the boyfriend needed to buy a bar coat too. Then
I remember going to the donut stop just down the street from the Sokol Underground too, like in the days before the smoking ban. And like just like after a show, you have like a few donuts. Well, everyone there is just smoking, like at least 3 cigarettes a person. It was fun. It was good times.
So many Jaeger Fight shows in the Mosaic would end up at the donut stop afterwards.
Yeah.
Donuts.
I think every city should have
A late night donut store.
Yeah. Like you need something kind of sweet and greasy after a show sometimes.
Yep.
Damn, now I want some donuts.
Yeah.
All I have is King Hawaiian rolls.
This album has the vibe of smoking 4 cigarettes at the donut stop at 3 a.m.
This album does make me want to have a cigarette.
Yeah.
I've already had my cigarette for this 3-year span.
Yeah.
That's too bad Andrew just left because we made him smoke a whole carton of cigarettes while we listened to Grateful Dead.
Yeah. had to make that cigarette burn color to the cover be a little bit more honest. Right? Yeah.
Well, all right. On side 2. Here we go. I will say his latest skin updates looks more realistic than the last one. It's kind of like in Terminator when they said the rubber skin one. And we're back.
We're back talking about Mark Zuckerberg.
And his weird, creepy skin.
You know, I don't believe in the lizard people conspiracy, but sometimes.
Sometimes you have to wonder.
Like the whole footage of him like testifying in front of Congress of like, God, he's legit did not look human during those.
Are we actually back? I don't see it moving.
Yeah, we're going.
Okay, cool. Never mind. Okay, yeah. That's how it scrolled. Okay. All right, so that was side B of Catholic Boy by the Jim Carroll Band. I like the second side more than the first side. What did you guys think?
I think it had higher highs, but that said, I thought. Let me look at my notes here. I wasn't really all that interested in Crow or I Want the Angel. They seem kind of generic to me. Maybe upon further listens, I would change my mind on that. But otherwise, it had some really high highs. Like the first song just had a great sleazy sound. There were a lot of like great flourishing guitar parts in It's Too Late, Catholic Boy, and yeah, I mean, it was a good side. I'm not sure if I prefer it over the first side, but I think it had higher moments than the first side.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm all confused with my feelings, guys, and I'm sitting here with tears in my eyes, and I just don't know how I feel.
Well, let's talk through it.
Yeah, let's work our way through it.
Well, what about you, Dave? Why do you like this side more than the first side?
Well, I like the two songs that didn't work for you. I don't think they're as strong as the other three on the side. But yeah, I think like my favorite song on the album is Catholic Boy. My third favorite is It's Too Late, and so like, and then yeah, like City Drops into the Night is just like a perfect, like intro into the side. Just slow things down, but make it like really threatening and sleazy. Was yeah,
God,
just
it had a great sound to it.
And so like yeah, I think this side was just like really strong as a result, largely of those three songs, and they really held a really strong, consistent momentum throughout the whole thing.
I'd actually have to say that side 2 is probably better, more memorable overall, not as a whole, or not every piece of it, I should say. So when City Drops into Night started and that saxophone came in, my first thought was New York's all right. But this is how to sound slow, but also very menacing.
Yeah.
And it just.
I mean, that song had the sound of some greaser that's getting ready to come up and get a switchblade out and just stick you real quick.
Yeah. This would be a great song to go like at the beginning of going to like dive bars in an unfamiliar city. Just to,
psyching yourself up for the night.
Yeah.
But like,
I thought it kind of had like a montage-y kind of sound, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe like a montage of people getting ready to go out on the town.
Fuck shit up.
Yeah, it had like a movie quality to it.
Yeah.
For a moment there, I also thought, you know what? Maybe People Who Died isn't the best song in this album. But ultimately, the song was too long. And, it did get to the point where it's like, okay, it's you said what you needed to say with this. It can end now. And that's one of the things as a songwriter is you have to know when to let a song end. But here's the weird thing that I picked up on is that I could hear similarities to glam metal.
I could too.
Like,
not enough that I was going to put it in my notes, but now that you bring it up.
Like, I couldn't hear Wasp covering the whole song, but I could definitely hear parts of that song moonlighting in some Wasp songs.
All right, since you brought up Wasp, did you see the news where he ended one of his fucking concerts by putting a bunch of goddamn Trump 1 signs up around on stage? Who the fuck goes to see Wasp to get fucking hit in the face with that bullshit? Like, come on, you dumb fuck.
Trump supporters? Like Wasp?
That wasn't it wasn't the same guy that did it, but that's some fucking pouring vodka on yourself with your mom next to you in the swimming pool kind of behavior.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
The motherfucker.
Yeah. But back to this song, it reminded me a lot of my my favorite song on X's Los Angeles album, which is now my favorite song, but started as my least favorite song on that album, which is Unheard Music. There's like the same kind of slow, menacing vibe. And just like building in and adding stuff near the end. And yeah, just like this is the sound of a night out in urban decay. Yeah.
Do you think Bill Clinton could play the saxophone line to this song?
Probably.
I guess I don't remember much of his saxophone playing skills. I do think that Mike Huckabee could play the bass, though.
Yeah. Well, they need to start a super group with Bill Clinton on sax and Mike Huckabee on bass, so that they
call it left and right.
Yeah.
I saw that H.W. Bush could play guitar, but he's dead now. So.
But he's dead.
Hopefully those two will also be dead soon as well.
Knock on wood.
Crow.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. Crow. This song is about Patti Smith. Patti Smith fell off the stage in like 1976 and broke her back and was paralyzed. And as a result, she was paralyzed for like a year. She didn't release an album in 77. And so while she was seen as one of the people who kicked off punk, she missed the year that punk broke. And this song is kind of about that, and it's kind of a tribute to her. They were friends; they were poets together. He talks a bit about it, like when she was working at a bookstore. But yeah, it's a nice little song. Like when she came back, like before she fell off stage, like her stuff, like her lyrics were more nihilistic on the subject of religion. But she had like kind of a near-death experience with all that, and became more religion positive. And like the album after she healed, which was called Easter, so it went from Jesus died for somebody's sins but not mine to releasing an album called Easter, basically. Yeah. So there was a bit of a shift in her music after she recovered, which I kind of get with a near-death experience doing that kind of thing.
I've never had one, so yeah, I can't say how that would affect me. So
yeah. But yeah, I think it's a good song. It's a nice little tribute. You are right. It does not stand out as much as the other songs. It's not. It doesn't.
It's really not a bad song.
It's not a bad song. Like it's fine. It's a good deep cut. Honestly,
it's literally what I said. Not bad, just not memorable. But I also know that it was kind of back to what I was expecting to hear, as far as just like the standard '70s punk rock.
Yeah. It's Too Late is a great song. I love it.
Yeah. Rock and bass line.
It's my third favorite song on the album. It's the song if I had to cover a song from this album, I'd cover this one because so many people have already covered People Who Died.
Yeah.
This is...
Honestly, I mean, it makes sense more for you guys now, obviously, but I was thinking of it as like, Gong Farmer could have covered this.
Oh, yeah, definitely could have. Yeah.
But my first note... Why is my butt shaking?
Yeah. Yeah, that bass line at the beginning. And if you want to talk about dangerous lyrics, It's too late to fall in love with Sharon Tate. Right at the opening. Yeah.
But, the song has such a vibe to it. And I cracked a couple of jokes about it. But it's like, I said that this is a song for when you know you're high, but you don't remember how you got high. Yeah. but at the same time, I was like, it's either that or this is an exercise video.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did like it though.
Yeah. And then I liked just like how like bitter and angry the whole thing was. Not just the lyrics, but like the sound of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the guitar I thought was very well crafted.
Yes. Because it let the bass do a lot of the heavy lifting. And it kind of focused more on doing some accent lines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I put my note is the guitar flourishes were well placed.
Yeah.
Kind of like Dry Wedding for Gong Farmer.
Yeah. And then the lyric, there isn't anyone left who I even want to imitate. It was kind of like this is kind of like wrapping up of the first era of punk. That is a very good statement for that.
Right.
That's a great line.
Yeah, it's like this is wrapping up, and fortunately, it meant it was time for other stuff. It was time for hardcore and post-punk to take radically different directions with the whole thing and do amazing things with it. But as like a bookend to the first era, that's the perfect line. like bookend that with like Patti Smith saying Jesus died for somebody's sins but not mine, and then put there's nobody left who I even want to imitate.
Yeah,
that is how you encapsulate that era.
Then I Want the Angel.
Elvis Costello wants his song back.
Yeah, that was the least interesting song on this side, I think.
Yeah, it was all right.
It was fine.
But yeah.
I didn't even put notes on it, so.
there was some. My favorite part of the song was like when it was getting near the end of the chorus. Like there was a frantic, like building with the drums back into the verse, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, and like I said, for this song and Crow is certainly not songs that I would skip or that I dislike. Just didn't have anything that stuck out to me on its first listen. So.
Yeah, it's not a song I would put on a mix, but it is not a song I would skip either.
Exactly.
Catholic Boy, my favorite song on the album. I like the nasty guitar riff leading into it. I like the line "redeemed by pain and not through joy," and like the other line, "I made allies in heaven, I made comrades in hell." That's great. And then I liked how the solo was like more feedbacky than the other solos on this record.
Yeah, I really liked the vicious guitar sound, and I also thought it had a really thumping low end that really stuck out to me.
Yeah, overall, it was just kind of it seemed like it was trying too hard to be edgy, as opposed to being authentically edgy. I don't know if I can say I actually hated this song, but there's something that definitely bothered me about it. And maybe it's because I'm a fellow Catholic boy. At least growing up I was, but
yeah, I didn't grow up religious, so I grew up listening to Slayer. That was pretty fucking edgy.
I grew up as the. All right, so here's the weird thing, but in my hometown, a lot of people think of Catholics as being conservative, but in my hometown, Catholics are all like kind of the liberal people, or go to the Catholic church.
I mean, that's often how it was in the 70s. Yeah.
And it wasn't until I went to college in Norfolk that I encountered this concept of Catholics being like right wing.
Yeah, I lived in North Bend, Nebraska for a while, and they had a Catholic majority, and their Catholics are very right wing conservative. They did not like the Black Sabbath, Megadeth, Slayer listening boy that pulled into that town with his mom. So
yeah. See, I as someone who I was
even
not,
though Tom Araya is a Catholic boy.
Yeah.
As someone who was not raised Catholic but was raised very religious, I liked this song a lot. Like I liked the idea of even if you have left a part of yourself behind, you always carry it with you.
Yeah,
I like that.
Catholic guilt. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I really like the redeemed through pain and not through joy bit. I think that does really encompass the idea of Catholic guilt better than anything else.
I was in 8th grade when I made the conscious decision that I felt comfortable saying "goddamn."
Yeah.
Well, that was very controversial when the Grateful Dead said it on the radio.
But yeah, this was, impressions of the album as a whole. It, I think, side 2 was the stronger side, particularly largely on the strength of 3 songs. But I think as a whole, it's kind of a good overview of what punk was quickly ceasing to be in 1980. It's like a good way to go out on that, and then move on to what was next. Like, I figure this is a high note for the first wave of punk to go out on.
After listening to a lot of the CBGB or proto-punk stuff that you brought in, this one sounds like that, but I could also hear the beginnings of what was to come in this album. So it seemed like a very fitting last hurrah for that scene, I guess.
Overall, it was just kind of there. But there were 3 songs that stuck out as like, wow. So there's 3 wow songs 2 songs. Yeah, I'll say 2 songs I hated, and everything else is just kind of middling. But those 3 WoW songs are definitely WoW songs.
But yeah, you don't have anything left to plug because
Except your mom.
hi-oh, because you retired from music.
Yes.
You put a bookend on your career, like this album put a bookend on the first wave of punk.
Well, you know, it's just the beginning of your spoken word tour. So now you got to go around and talk about your music career to people on stage. So
And instead, I'm just fighting fraud at a bank I won't mention.
you know, nothing more punk rock than that, right?
Hey, you know what? I hope old people will get their money back that assholes steal from them. I feel okay about that part.
Yeah.
Other parts of it are like...
Hey, as long as there's one part you can feel okay about. Yeah. Might not be punk, but
You know,
there's
you
some
know
good
what?
work. Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's one thing to help someone get $15,000 back when they have $300,000. It's another thing to get someone $15,000 back when that's all they have.
Exactly. Yeah. Like,
Well, sometimes I watch these like scam bait channels where all they do is bait scammers that like sit in call centers and pretend to be tech support and stuff like that. And like they get so many people that, yeah, that's all the money they had. Well, and half the time they're acting like they're giving them a refund. But yeah, I had a point with that and I don't remember what it was now. So moving on.
yeah. Well, the thing is, like, a lot of the people who are doing the scams don't see what they're doing as wrong because they're like, oh, they should have just been more careful. It's like that. He's blaming the victim. But yeah.
Yep.
You know, I don't mind it if somebody like Elon Musk gets scammed, but you know, if I don't know, your neighbor who is retired and lives on a fixed income gets scammed, the people that scammed them go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
I did think
Scam Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I'm think about it. Yeah, I mean, if you scammed away 99% of what Elon Musk owns, he's still a billionaire.
Yeah. I think, for example, Elizabeth Holmes, it was really funny that one of the people that she ripped off was Henry Kissinger.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make what she did a net positive. That just meant one thing that she did was it was awesome that she ripped off at least one of the people she ripped off, and then she was a piece of, she was a piece of shit.
Yep.
Maybe we should recreate Homer's dollar scam and just target it towards like rich people, but instead of $1, let's do $10,000.
Yeah.
Send us $10,000 and you'll get happiness. And Elon Musk and his ketamine fueled brain will be like, well, he'd probably be like, I'd be happier with the $10,000.
Yeah.
Just like Mr. Burns.
Just like Mr. Burns. But yeah, that was Catholic Boy by the Jim Carroll Band. And we have been Side 1, Side B with Dave and Steve. Catch you on the flip side. Happy!
Side 1, Side B with Dave and Steve is a Floof Goof Studios production. You can find us on Instagram at KillRockMusicSWS and Dave_Diction. You can find us on Bluesky at KillRockMusic and Beastmaster General. Check out our musical projects, The Alliterates and Lucid Fugue, on all major streaming platforms, and links to each at my website, killrockmusic.com. That's RAVOCKmusic.com. This also includes my past projects, Megaton and Valley of Shadows, and my current solo project, Kill Rock. You can also find Dave's past project, Gong Farmer, at gongfermour.bandcamp.com. Thanks.
Everyone we worked with is dead.
Really ripped.
Yeah.
I need to change my pants.
Check.
Leonard Bernstein.
I hate it so much I skipped the whole Destroyer.
Allow me to play you out.
Dirty Dave just pooped his pants.
Yes, indeed.